Yes guys, and welcome to another video. Now, as you'll probably be able to tell by the title and the thumbnail, it isn't great news at all, but I thought I'd just give you a quick sort of 3 or 4 minute update on what is going on regarding this man here and an injury that has occurred, because there's been news, there's been further updates on the situation regarding Habib Diarra. But before we get into it, even though it is shit news, it's bad news. If you could hit the like button on the video, that would be massively appreciated, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We've recently passed 18,000 subscribers, and I'm so appreciative of it, and we really want to hit 20,000 subs by the end of the season. Again, it's a massively optimistic goal, but I'm aiming for it. But let's get into it. Into the negativity, unfortunately, but you know, with every negativity, with every negative, a door opens for someone else, and that's the way I think we need to look at it, albeit a very negative piece of news. So, of course, before the game at the weekend against Villa, Regis did announce that Habib had picked up an injury, but by the way in which it was said by Regis, I just thought it was something very minor. He said that he picked up a knock in training, but it has come to fruition that Habib Diarra has had to go or undergo surgery for a groin injury, I believe. We'll have a look at the official statement in just a moment, but yeah, I think first and foremost, I wish him a speedy recovery. I believe December is the sort of aim for him to come back, and it's a hell of a long time to go without your sort of your star signing, your record signing. And I feel like with every game he's played, he's looked better and better, and he's looked more imposing. He's more involved in the play. He's a box-to-box midfielder who likes to try and penetrate as well, and I felt like he was really growing into it the more that we saw him. And to go out and get injured in the manner he has done, and for the length he's going to be injured, it's going to take a while for him to get back to full match fitness as well. So that's really frustrating, because that trio of Jacques, Siddiqui and Diarra, that becomes sort of a part of the furniture, albeit only a few games into the season, but that was a trio we've come to expect in the starting 11 every match day now. So it really is gutting news. But I will have a look into the statement. It's only a very brief one. I'll look at the statement and I'll just give you a few more thoughts going forward. So the club website has said, injury update, Habib Diarra. Sunderland AFC midfielder Habib Diarra underwent successful surgery on Monday after sustaining a groin injury in training ahead of the club's Premier League fixture versus Aston Villa. The 21-year-old will now begin a period of rehabilitation at the Academy of Light. Diarra, who moved to Wayside from RC Strasbourg in July, is scheduled to return to action in December. Wishing you well in your recovery, Habib. Now, of course, again, I can only add to that sentiment. I wish him the best recovery and the speediest recovery possible, because we're going to need him. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, on the top of the video, it opens doors for other players. So, firstly, it'd be very interesting to see what you guys think down below. Who would your midfield trio now be? Would you maybe change the system? I know that after the Aston Villa game, I saw people wanting to remain with the 5 at the back, but for me, I don't think we should. I think that's kind of a needs-must type of system. If you do go down to 10 men, something like that. Although I can also understand trying to get the likes of Alderete, Mukiele and Ballard into the same 11. That's only the only real way to do that. Although Mukiele, he is more commonly known as a right back, but he's been that good at centre back. I'm not putting anyone ahead of Mukiele at the moment. And Hume's Hume. I love having Hume on that right hand side. So what's going to happen there, I don't know. But moving on to the topic of the midfield, it can open doors for Chrissy Rigg, who of course was massively disappointed. He was visibly gutted on the pitch when he had to come off against Villa, of course, because of Ronaldo's stupid red card. And a few guys actually, or a few of you guys, should I say, in the comments asked me why I didn't go in as hard on Ronaldo as hard as I should have done because of that stupidity of the red card. I think it's just because I was so buzzing that we actually got away with something from that game with 10 men for the best part of an hour. So I didn't want to linger on the negativity of it. But yeah, I will just say it was stupid. And what was frustrating as well is leading up to that red card, Ronaldo was actually one of the best players in the pitch. He was actually bombing down that left-hand side. He was really putting 110% as every other player was. But he was one of the brightest lights on the pitch up until that point. So yeah, it was stupid, and for such an experienced player, should never be doing that. Was it soft? Was Cash rolling about all over the ground like he'd been shot with a sniper? Yes, but equally with VAR, you can't get away with stuff like that. And the motion he kicked upwards towards him, I can totally understand why a red card was given. But yeah, so I feel like we are going to revert back to a 4 at the back, whether we're going to go to Masuaku at left back or maybe pick someone else at left back. Or we could even see that wing-back system with Talby at left wing-back, because he was phenomenal on the left-hand side. But going into the midfield, as I say, I keep on changing topic. But in the midfield now, I'd love to see Chrissy Rigg get given a go. He didn't look out of place whatsoever against Villa. So a sort of Granit Xhaka as a holder, and then Siddiqui and Rigg in front of him. Maybe Lafay. I think he might start putting Lafay in the middle. This is why I'm not panicking as much as I probably should be doing, as much as I'm gutted that Diarra is injured. But I think with a Xhaka as a holder, if we don't see Rigg be put into the middle, we do have the option of Siddiqui and Lafay in the middle, which again, I think Siddiqui is someone who covers every blade of grass. He does every single game. He was phenomenal. He was outstanding against Villa. He can't be dropped, and why would we anyway? But Lafay can also do that. Lafay is good and creatively impressive, or as creatively impressive as he is, and technically gifted as he is. He does have that tenacious side to him. He has that tenacity. So that midfield trio of Lafay, Siddiqui and Xhaka, I think could work perfectly well. But Lafay, equally, he's been doing fantastic on the left. Maybe you could put a Dingra on the left-hand side to replace Lafay if he is to be moved into the middle, and Talby on the right. But I do really like Talby on the left-hand side now. So there's headaches all over the place is what I'm essentially getting to. But it's a good headache to have. Dan Neil, of course, he was brought on for the last sort of couple of minutes. And I think at this present moment, I don't see where Dan Neil fits in whatsoever. Particularly Granit Xhaka in that position that Dan Neil was holding last season. He's not going to drop Granit. Granit is a leader amongst men on the pitch, and a really quality player to boot as well. And with the Dan Neil situation, he hasn't signed a contract. I've got a feeling we're going to get an update over the next couple of months, maybe, suggesting that Dan Neil is going to be signing for another club. That's personally how I think it's going to go, because Dan Neil is a player who I admire. Is he anywhere near the level of Granit Xhaka and Premier League quality? I personally don't think so. And I think it would only be right for Dan, as much as I am a fan of his. Is he at Premier League standard at the minute? You could argue he hasn't been given the opportunity, but in this squad, I don't think he's up to the standard that we have at the moment. I think he will get bit part roles here and there, as we saw against Villa, but Dan Neil's not going to want to do that. You know, we captained the side last year, played almost every game, or however many games he played, the majority of the games. He's not going to want to be sitting on the bench anymore, is he? So I can't see Dan Neil breaking into that trio, at least for now. So for me, I think he might put Rigg in there. I think that would be probably the most simplest or most obvious option, given that he did start against Villa, and I wouldn't be against that at all. And then Lafay on the left and Talby on the right, maybe. But I can't keep repeating myself now. But I just don't want to see Talby on that right-hand side anymore. He looked that good on the left. I think he just looks so much more comfortable cutting in from left to right. Whereas a Dingra, although he is very good on the left and looks very, very bright, I think Adingra can do a job on the right as well, whereas Talby looks really uncomfortable on the right. You know, that is where he played for his previous club, and he looked fantastic at times on the right-hand side, but he just looks infinitely more confident and comfortable on the left, cutting in from left to right, going for goal. He was really getting at plays relentlessly, even though we were down for 10 men, and his tracking back ability, his capabilities defensively were really, really good. I'm not going to say he's the best defender in the world, of course not, but he had that will and want and desire, that passion to get back and put in a shift, as well as getting at them. So plenty of headaches. I've probably gone all over the place here. This was meant to be like a 2-minute update, but it's a nice headache to have all over the pitch at the moment. But yeah, so like I said, shit news about Habib Diarra. However, the doors will open for other players, and it'll be very interesting to see what you guys think down below. But I will leave it there, guys. If you have enjoyed, despite it being bad news, you can hit the like button for me. It's so appreciated. And subscribe if you are new as well. But for now, how are the lads? Keep the faith.